Welcome to the third video in the Essence in Relationship series. In this one, we're going to really explore how to create with another, how essence-inspired creation can activate both of you and you can create in your life, whether that's partner, workmates, children, whatever. How you can really tap the power of essence and shared essence to then create your highest potential together. So the first two steps to this are covered in the first two videos, which is be responsible for your own essence first. If you're not vibrating as the essence you want in the relationship, don't try and create with another person. It's a recipe for disaster. So at the very first, whatever essence you want to be in relationship, be that first. The second video spoke about shared resonance, which is this invitation that rather than focusing on the content of our relationship and what the form of what we're trying to create, first we find how to come into shared resonance together. What's the qualities we want in the relationship before the form of the relationship? So we're assuming that you've got those two, because that's what paves the way for this third one, which is in many ways the most exciting. It's the flowering of the highest potential of relationship. Because what is the highest potential of relationship? The obvious answer is no fucking idea, because we can't know, because it's the meeting that reveals it. It's the miracle of meeting with another person and not knowing and coming together and watching your essence and their essence start to create something beyond what either of you could alone. That's the extraordinary miracle of relationship that I'm sure you know, is that when two people come together in presence and open together, then they birth something beyond the sum total of their parts. Even beyond the best. If you just took the best of them and the best of them, put it together, it wouldn't just be that, it'd be something even more magnificent. But obviously we know all too often what happens is the opposite, is we just survive relationships. We just go through the motions. Sometimes that can still be pleasant, sometimes it's not, but that going through the motions is what happens to most of our relationships, is that we forget to create. When I work with couples, one of the things I often find is I sit down and go, so are you creating your life together? And it's often forgotten about. What do we most want? Isn't even being asked anymore. They're just surviving the dynamics of their personalities and the content of their lives. And that's the same with business partners, with families, whatever. So the question here that's at the center of the creation practice is, how would we most love it to be? Whether that's a working relationship, personal relationship, anything, friendship, anything. How would we most love it to be? Remember, we've taken responsibility for our own essence, we've found a shared essence, and then we go, how would we most love it to be? And this is an extraordinary question to ask, because first and foremost, it takes us out of, well, what's the best that we think is possible given my humanness and your humanness and the issues and the... It takes that out first, because most of us have forgotten our ability to dream big. We've really learned to just survive the best way we can in life, and especially in relationships, and forgot to ask that question of, how would I most love this relationship or this shared creation to be? And so once you've done those first two steps of taking personal responsibility for the essence and then for creating a shared field of essence, then this question can just like become a fountain or a volcano of possibility. Because if both people ask that question, what they get then is the other person is there with me, helping it become how we'd most love it to be. Rather than trying to survive each other or feel like we're working against each other, we now get onto the same page. And so by both answering that question together, I mean, we're assuming two, this works for 3, 4, anyone, but by answering that question together, how would you love this to be? And then you listen to that and the other person says, how would I most love this to be? Then immediately you get a sense of whether you're working towards the same goal. If how you'd both most love it to be is quite different, then already you can see where potentially some of the conflict is or where some of the challenges are. Because if you're not on a shared page, if you don't have a shared vision for the highest potential of the relationship, then we default to survival. So, with this beloved or with your boss or with your employees or with your children, how would we most love this to be? And when you talk about that long enough, you find a shared resonance. You find yourself both nodding heads going, yeah, that's what we want. That's how we'd love it to be. And because of those first two, because of having essence alive in yourself, because of creating shared resonance with another, then this naturally just flows out of it. Actions flow out of it, visions, ideas, next steps, and literally just creative energy goes and flows out. So that's my invitation, is to enter into these 3 stages in your relationships. Because we don't know what the highest potential of any relationship is. Even just meeting of someone in the supermarket. There can be the going through the motions, or there can be the really bringing presence to the meeting of that moment. But more importantly, those really core relationships in our life where we're spending hours and hours of our day. How much time are we really spending asking the questions, how would we most love this to be? So go and create your relationships as a true expression of the essence that you are. You deserve it. Family Christmases deserve it. Life is better. Life is richer when we can really bring essence into our relationships. And if you want to know more, contact us. We run courses and have books and all sorts of stuff on this living essence in our relationships. Enjoy. See ya.